friends, and welcome to the Happy Hour with Jamie Ivey podcast. This is actually the happy half hour. I say that with a little weirdness in my voice because I was just telling Emily, who's on. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
I was just telling her that I still don't have a name nailed down, but we're going to go with
happy
half hour today. So I'm your host, Jamie, and I'm really excited that you're here with us today. Each week on Wednesdays, I invite a girlfriend to join me on the show, and we chat about the big things in life, the little things in life, and everything in between. But on this show, we do things a little different. And so because my Wednesday shows are so conversational, I never get enough time with my guests to talk deeply about specific things. And that, in a nutshell, is what this Friday show is going to be. So I'm bringing back guests that you've loved before, and we're going to ask them very specific questions to help us get to know them and be inspired by what they're doing. So today's episode is my friend Emily Lex. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
You may remember Emily because she was on, if you've been a longtime listener, you've listened, and we talked for so long. It was the first time we ever met, and I broke it up into 2 episodes. So she's episode number 42 and 43, and if you haven't heard those, please go back and listen because you'll love them.
It was so fun. I love
And it seems like that was forever ago, doesn't it?
It feels like it was. It kind of was. I mean, it was almost a year ago.
Yeah. And I just released episode 80 this week, so,
Yay!
I know, yay, happy hour number 80. And then this is the second happy half hour, so I'm glad that you're one of the people.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
So love it. Okay, so I want to tell you about who's sponsoring today's show, and it is a company called HelloFresh. And I am new to HelloFresh. I just got my first box this week. And
have you started it?
Well, yeah. Okay. So they told me they wanted to sponsor the show, and I'm like, yes. And so if you listen to the show, if anyone listens to Happy Hour, they know that my husband's a phenomenal cook. And you also know that I'm not the best in the kitchen. If I'm looking at a recipe and it has a bunch of ingredients that I don't have or know what they are, I just skip it. I just think it can't be that important. And Aaron is like, those are really important things to put in a recipe. So the thing that's awesome about HelloFresh is it's a meal delivery service. And so this huge box showed up on my porch, and it had 3 different meals in it with all the ingredients. Like the ingredients that I would leave out were in there. So I made, let me tell you what I made. Salmon, Emily.
Okay.
I've never made salmon in my life.
Yeah.
It's called salmon. I can't even say what it's called. Salmon in papillote.
Okay.
Did I say that right?
I don't know.
But it was so good, and I used ingredients like tarragon. Is that how you even say that? Look at me.
Yeah.
I would never buy that because I would think it's not important. It was so important.
But it makes a big, big, big difference.
A huge difference. Aaron tasted what I made, and he said it was the best thing I've ever cooked.
Oh, good for you.
I know. And so HelloFresh, I mean, they're really, really cool because they employ dietitians in the office, and they send you all the ingredients that you need. And someone actually told me this week that the average American throws away 40% of their groceries.
For sure.
I believe that. Yeah. And so what this box does, it sends you exactly what you need. And so you get to pick out your meals. They offer different kind of boxes, like a classic box, a veggie box, and they're going to be launching a family box soon. So,
they have the family box because that's what we get.
That's what you get?
It is.
Oh, well, they've done it.
Yeah.
So tell me, do you love it?
So this was actually, HelloFresh was one of my 3 things when we did our podcast.
That's right.
It was one of my 3 things that was just changing my life. So really, you can hear the whole story on that podcast, but really quick story. Ryan, my husband, said, okay, dinner is a stressful time. I'm going to take it over for you. And he made dinner about 2 times before
he said, this is why it's stressful.
I'm going to order a box of food for us. So he ordered HelloFresh. We probably started January 2015, and we've been eating HelloFresh ever since. And it absolutely is the best thing ever for our family, because at 4:00 when the kids are like, what's for dinner? I'm like, I don't know, but it's in the fridge, so we'll figure it out.
See what they sent us.
I don't know what we're having. And so we have 4 kids like you. We just get the 4-person box, and it always feeds us enough food. Granted, I have 3 boys, 12, 10, 8, and then a girl who's 6. And so I'm sure as they get bigger and older and grow, maybe that won't be enough food, but we always have leftovers. So
I think I got the 2-person box. I think that's what they sent me. I don't remember requesting one, and it fed me plus 3 of my kids.
Yeah,
and because we had some left over.
They give big portions. I feel like the food is pretty healthy. I know some people wish that there were gluten-free options, which I feel like you could alter them really easily to make gluten-free. But we're we're not a gluten-free family, but it absolutely, like, the main thing that it does for me, well, actually it does two things. It makes dinner time so much easier because I don't have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm learning how to cook because
Oh,
said I would not cook salmon because I don't even know how to cook
yeah. I
salmon.
mean, I
But when
get
they
nervous
give you
about
the
salmon.
ingredients and they tell you exactly how to do it, you're like, oh, okay, I can cook salmon. So
And the
it's like
it's so
cooking school.
yes, and the ingredients are already pre-measured. Like they sent
Yeah.
me the exact amount that I needed, which was amazing.
Yes.
So, okay, so they even have a code for all of my happy hour listeners. So go to hellofresh.com and use the promo code Jamie Ivey and you're going to get $35 off your first week. And I just think that is a very generous code of them. So hellofresh.com, use the code Jamie Ivey. At least try it out. I mean, it's worth it
At
to try
least
out,
try it.
especially if you have a busy week coming up. I mean, it's been really
Mhm.
great for us. So, all right, let's get started with our show, Emily.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right. So the way this works is I'm just going to ask you questions and we'll go from there.
All right.
All right, here we go. What is something that you've read, watched, or heard that you can't stop recommending to other people?
Oh, I so we just watched all 5 seasons of Suits. Have you seen the show?
No, but I've heard about it a lot.
Oh, okay. So Ryan and I, we're not big TV watchers. Like, if anything, I like reality.
Yeah.
I'm still a Survivor fan, and so it's fun for us to have something to watch together. So we watched a show called Newsroom maybe a year or so ago, which we loved. And so I was talking to some girlfriends. They're like, "Well, if you loved Newsroom, you'll love Suits even more." And we did. Well, I don't know if we loved it even more, but there are more seasons, and it's so quick. Like, the banter is so quick, the characters you love, the storyline is great, so we love that show.
I've heard great things about it. And
Yeah.
tell me, is it like crime? Is it detective?
No.
Are they
Yes.
lawyers?
Yeah, they're lawyers.
Okay.
So there's one, like, super high fancy lawyer, and he's looking for an associate, and so this guy is like a fraud and he pretends to be a lawyer to get this job. And but you love him, so you're like, yes, you're a fraud, but like, I mean, you've got such a heart of gold.
Right.
So yeah, but and then it just takes that whole storyline and you learn more about the different lawyers. But I love it. So then the other one that people say, like, since you loved Suits, you'll probably like White Collar, and that's the one which I haven't watched it, but I think that's more of like he's like a thief or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and he helps solve crimes.
Okay.
I don't know, but
I
that's our
think
next one.
I think Aaron and I watch TV like y'all. Like
Yeah,
we don't really like watch a lot of live TV. In fact,
yeah.
I can't think of anything
Do
we watch
people
live
watch
TV.
live TV?
I don't know. I don't know how you like.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to like come home to watch
Yes.
something at 7:30? Like,
Yeah.
and then I remember when TiVo came out. Did y'all have a TiVo?
We never had TiVo. I think we had like a DVR, which actually we don't even have a DVR, so we don't even record things.
We
We
don't
just
either.
watch it on demand.
We watch Hulu. We
Or
watch everything on Hulu or Netflix.
yeah.
Or like Apple TV. We bought
Yeah.
the whole OJ Simpson, which I talked about this in the episode that went up on last Wednesday or just this
Okay.
week with Jamie Golden.
Yeah.
Are y'all watching the OJ Simpson show?
No, but I would, because did you watch it when you were like a kid? I mean, how old were we? Probably like
Well,
middle school?
I remember where I was when he went on the Bronco ride. Like
Yeah,
I
me
remember
too. I feel like I was watching it.
yeah, it was on TV. I was actually in New York City on like
Uh-huh.
I think maybe a mission trip. I can't remember. I don't know why I would have been there without my parents except for that. And I also remember that the Houston Rockets were playing in the national championship
Oh.
because I lived in Houston.
Uh-huh.
And I think that okay, so I looked it up the other day and I think maybe I was like the summer before my either sophomore or junior year in high school is when the Bronco
Okay.
thing went down.
Yeah. I mean, I really, really remember watching it and watching the whole trial that
Oh,
was all
yes.
televised. It was so fascinating to me.
Very fascinating. And I'm actually feel differently about it now as a adult.
Yeah.
Because watching this and again, this is like a kind of documentary. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
I'm always wondering how much of it is exactly truth.
Right.
But
Right.
looking back, I did not realize how quickly this happened after the Rodney King incident.
Uh,
Remember that? And
yep.
so I think as
So
like
there
a
was so much just
tension.
tension. Yep.
Yes, and I think as a, 17-year-old white girl
Hmm.
in her little suburbia middle
Right.
high school, I
Right.
didn't understand that at all, and I
Yeah.
think like I understand it more now, and so
Hmm.
it makes a little bit more sense to me. Whereas then I was very ignorant about all of that,
Hmm.
and so I'm looking at it a little bit differently now.
Yeah.
Not that
Well, so is that
not
on
about his.
Netflix?
No, we bought it. I think
Okay.
I don't know what channel it's on. We bought it on iTunes.
Okay. That would be fun. I
I
think I'd like
know.
that.
The only thing is, it's happening right now, and so we have to wait every week. And isn't that
Right.
awful when you have to
That's
wait
just,
for something?
I know, I know. Totally.
Yeah, hello,
Oh,
America. We need it right now. Mm.
oh,
Okay,
I
next
know. Okay,
question.
wait, I have
Oh,
one more thing that I
okay.
am
Oh, sorry.
watching that
Yes, yes, yes.
it's a it's this YouTube video that I keep recommending to all these people. And I wish that I could explain it a little bit better, but it's this guy, his name is Michael Jr.
Uh-huh.
He's a comedian, and the video is called Know Your Why. And I feel like I watch it once a week and then I tell someone about it.
Wait, you watch the same
About
video
once a
or he
week.
puts out new
No,
videos?
no, no, I watch the same one because it's just so good. So
I'm
it's
writing this
this
down.
guy who's kind of a he's a comedian, but he's sort of a motivational guy. And so he asks this question to his audience, and he just says, like, when I ask the question, how do you know? Most people answer, how do you know what? And he's saying what we need to be looking for is the how do you know why? Because when you know your why of what you're doing in life, that it changes everything. And so it's this man who's singing Amazing Grace, and he sings it one way, and then Michael Jr. is like, well, what if, I don't know. He tells the whole story like, what if this is the situation? And then the guy sings Amazing Grace completely differently. And the whole audience is like on their feet. And it's so amazing.
It's like inspiring.
It's so inspiring. And it just makes you go like, oh, I need to know what my why is.
Oh.
It's so good.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it today.
You should watch it. I'll send you the link. It's so good. Or you can look it up. Michael Jr. Know Your Why.
I need you to send me the link though to make
Okay.
sure I'm on the
All
right one. Yes.
right.
Okay, I love that.
Oh, so
Okay,
good.
did you tell me, are you reading anything?
Uh, I just finished a book that I didn't like. I just wrote like 9 books on my blog, 9 spring books that I want to read. So I started one called A Window Opens, and I was reading it, and I actually was spending the weekend with Anne Bogle, who
Uh-huh.
does Modern Mrs. Darcy, and she was like, Emily, if you don't like the book, you are an adult. You don't have to finish it.
Oh, that's so
Like,
hard for me.
perfect. Thank you. I just didn't want to finish. It was so predictable and I didn't love it. So I put
Okay.
that one down. So then I picked up another book from that same list and I read it. And the other night, Ryan was getting into bed and I'm like, I just got to finish this book. I hate it, but I just want to finish it. I didn't hate it. It just was, I don't know. It just wasn't very good. So,
So you have
um,
nothing that you can
so
recommend right now.
I have nothing right now, but I think I'm going to read The Lake House, which is Kate Morton. Have you
Mm-hmm.
read any of her stuff?
No. Mm-mm.
I love all of her books. They're just set in like England and sometimes Australia, and it's characters that span generations and lots of storylines that mix together, and usually like some sort of, I don't know, mystery or something, but they're not really mysteries, but they're just really beautifully written, really great stories, kind of flowery,
Okay.
sort of. So The Lake House, I think, will be my next one.
Perfect. Perfect.
I
Okay.
just needed to take a break from my terrible book.
Oh, I know. I'm kind of like you though. Well, I need someone to give me permission to stop because
Yeah.
I always feel obligated to the author because I'm always like,
Yeah.
you put a lot of
Maybe the
time into
theme
this.
itself. I know. No, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, Emily, if you had a
Yes.
superpower, what would it be and how are you so good at it?
Okay, I this is a really, really hard question. If I had a superpower, like when my kids ask that question, I'm usually like, I would want to be able to swim underwater for a long time because I have a thing about dolphins and whales.
Oh, you could be
So
like a mermaid, is what you want to be,
I know,
really.
right? I would want to be a mermaid. There you go. I don't know if that's a superhero
It's
power.
really not, but you could wear those cute shells over your, things.
Right. Oh my gosh.
We have digressed here, but keep going. Sorry to kind of derail your
Yeah.
superpower
Oh,
talk.
that would be my superpower. If the question is like, what's something that you're just really good at? I feel like I'm pretty good at making things look pretty.
You are
And
very good at that.
and that ties into the knowing your why thing. Like I've just been searching since watching that video, like, what is my thing? What am I good at? And I really think that I've kind of come to like, I just am really good at making things look pretty. And maybe there's some value in that.
There's a lot of value in that, and I have an example of how you can see your value and your why that happened in our house this morning.
Oh,
Okay,
tell me.
so we're
Okay.
having some people over for dinner tonight, and I decided that I'm gonna make. Have you read Sean Aniqua's book Bread and Wine?
I have it and I've, flipped through it. I haven't read
You
it.
should read it. I highly recommend it. But she has recipes in there, and
Uh-huh.
so I've only made I've made a couple, but the one I've made the most from her book is this blueberry crisp thing. It's the very first
Okay.
recipe, and it's so
Yep.
fabulous.
Yep.
So anyhow, I was like, I'm gonna make that for dessert tonight, and so Aaron asked me for a grocery list because he's heading to the grocery store, and you know what I put my grocery list on?
Oh,
My
paperwork.
cute paperworks. And so
Hey.
I take it downstairs and I give it to Aaron, and he's like, "Where'd you get this? This is so cool." I'm like, "Well,
Oh.
let me tell you about it." And so, but so you
Yeah.
do make things beautiful, and you made our grocery list, which I'm sure Aaron loved carrying that around the grocery store this morning. Look beautiful from
Well, that's the
Paperworks.
thing is that it's just like the everyday normal things. Like a grocery list is so silly to make it look pretty, but it's more fun. And
Mm-hmm.
it makes me happy to write on something pretty
It
or
makes
to,
you so happy.
yeah,
And
you know,
next
to open
week,
up your pantry and see like jars of flour instead of like a bag of flour. It's such a silly thing, but it makes a difference in my life. It makes me happy.
do you
So,
put all, because I do this, and I'm assuming that you do since you just said it, do you put all
yeah.
of your stuff in jars in the pantry?
Yeah, we
Me
do.
too.
Yeah.
Do you make pretty labels?
No.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
if you do,
well, I
I'm
have
in for some.
there is actually in Paperworks in the gallery there are a bunch of labels for like pantry stuff.
Really?
So I'll tell you where that is.
Hmm.
But I love just the simplicity of I don't know. I just see what's in it. I
Hmm.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we have Aaron, my little chef cook over here.
Yes.
We have like 17 different kinds of flowers, and so
Right.
we got to know what it
Not
is.
that fancy.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, Emily, how do you recharge?
Oh, I really love sleeping.
Hmm.
So I love listening to podcasts. So like when I'm making dinner, I'll stick headphones in and my poor kids are like, "Mom's out." I'm making dinner. I got my headphones in. So I love to do that. I'm an introvert who is happy to be social and around people, but to recharge I just need to be by myself. And so like in the car I'll just have no music on and it'll just
Hmm.
be quiet and I can just be in my own head and think. So it's just being quiet, I think.
Have you
Um,
ever gone away on a trip just by yourself?
no,
Would that
no.
recharge you?
I think for about you know what I would love is to have all my kids and my husband leave and just be at home for a day.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I would go, I think I would just rather go on a vacation with Ryan
Hmm.
or even with the kids, but with Ryan for sure, than I would by myself. I don't know. Would you?
No, that sounds like complete misery to me, but my husband does that a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I say a lot. He'll
But
schedule, and he calls
you,
them like, yeah, solitude trips, and
uh-huh,
he'll go away for like 3 days all
uh-huh.
alone.
Uh,
And well, I take that back. He usually brings somebody with him, but he never seems to invite me, because we just kind of have this like thing. A lot of our pastors won't ever travel alone, just for like
mhm,
just
mhm.
accountability and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
so he always brings like it's usually like these two guys,
Yep.
and I always ask him why he takes them and not me, and he's like, because they won't talk to me. Like they'll
That's what
actually
it is.
let me be in solitude.
I can sit.
And I'm like, oh, well, I don't have to talk that much. He's like, Jamie, you would never stop talking to me. But that doesn't sound good to me. I would like to be with Aaron at a beach. We don't even have to talk a lot, but just like,
Yeah, put together.
yeah.
I know. I
Oh.
saw a gal, we were out to dinner last night, and I saw a lady who was sitting by herself at her booth. And there's part of me that's like, I wasn't going to say this to her, but I was going to be like, way to go. You're by yourself. That's awesome. And then it's like, well, what if she's there because she doesn't have anyone
Yeah, she
else?
has to be.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna, I'm gonna make her feel terrible. But even like going to a restaurant by
Mm.
myself feels, I don't know, a little weird.
I went to a movie once, I think right after all my kids started school. I
Uh-huh.
know it was the very first 2 weeks when all my kids were in school were very hard for me. I didn't know. I almost was like, I
Didn't
don't
know what to
know
do.
what to do. Who am I? And I went to a movie by myself, and it was glorious. I think I
It
need to
was.
revisit that. Like when the
Yeah.
kids go back to school, I think I need to go to a movie by myself.
Go celebrate.
Celebrate maybe next week after spring break. Like celebrate we
Yes.
made it a week.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
okay. What is a specific app, gadget, or piece of technology that you cannot live without, and why?
mm, um well, I really, really love Instagram, which is just so like cliche, but it's my favorite thing. To just sit and what I like to see are just pretty images. So yes, I like to follow some of my friends, but I just follow so many people that just they make beautiful images or ballet dancers.
Oh, or ballet dancers.
Ballet dancers post videos of them like doing arabesques and doing pirouettes, and I mean I'm a wannabe ballerina,
Were
so
you ever a ballerina?
I was a ballerina as a girl. I danced for Seattle's ballet companies called Pacific Northwest Ballet. So I
Mm-hmm.
danced with that company until I was about 12, maybe. And they told me, hey, we would love to keep Emily. We want to train her, but we need to break her feet and reconstruct them. She doesn't have the right
Wait,
point.
this is serious. Like break them?
Break the bones in my feet and make the arch better. So I just don't have a good enough arch to really have the right lines for a ballerina's foot. And so I think that that's what it is, that I watch these videos on Instagram and it's usually a close up of the ballet dancer's feet.
Okay, wait.
So,
I'm gonna need to go back here for a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
That really happens
That really,
to 12-year-old
guess
girls?
12-year-old girls, what was I in, maybe fifth grade? And if it were up to me, I would have done it. And my parents, of course, were smarter than that and were like, nope, we're not going to do that. But
Did you do that to your daughter? I was gonna ask.
yeah. When Audrey was born, one of the first things that I was like, okay, let's point your toes. Let's see how your feet are. It's ridiculous. And she actually doesn't have that great of a point, and that makes me really sad. She does take ballet and she loves it, but I don't know that she's got the right feet.
If they came to you and said, like, we see a lot of potential, we're gonna need to break both of her feet, what would you
Yeah, can you
say?
imagine? I mean, no, I don't think I would say yes, but I think I would want to say yes. That's
Because
so
you loved it so much.
because I loved it. But I also know that the life of a ballet dancer, or maybe any like elite athlete,
Mm-hmm.
is really not the best life for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's a terrible blanket statement, but
But
I
it's
just think
hard.
it's so taxing on your body.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's so many just like identity issues and
Mm-hmm.
eating disorders, and when your whole life is based on your body. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, she loves to perform. She loves the stage. So I'll encourage her to like dance as much as she can, but I don't know if I would break her feet.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh, that's so
Would
crazy.
you? Would you go that far?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
But then I would always think, like, what if?
I know.
I mean, what if then they become this like amazing ballerina? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That's
know. I
hard.
take bar classes right now.
Oh,
I
I
just
love bar.
just got a studio, or it's not even a studio. It's at the YMCA that just opened nearby.
Yeah.
And so I've been dying to take bar classes, and so now I'm taking bar, and I love it because I feel like I can be a fake ballet dancer in there,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's like you don't have to be a ballerina to do bar.
For sure.
But
I
I
did
feel
it. So
like
that's there's
I hold myself like a ballerina because I was trained that way,
mm-hmm.
and I love it. It makes me feel like I can be a fake ballet dancer.
I did bar for like a month and I don't
Yeah.
remember why I stopped, but I loved it. And I remember going in thinking, this is going to be so dumb.
Right.
Like, how is this going to work out your body?
Yeah.
Literally the next day I could hardly walk.
I know. When your legs shake, you're like doing a
Yes.
plie.
Yes.
Shaking.
It was
I
so
know.
good.
So good.
Okay, this might lead into my next question. What is
Yeah.
a dream you had for yourself when you were younger that never came true? Either
Oh,
you
there you
had to let it go or
go.
circumstances forced you to let it go.
Oh, I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I
Is that true
did.
what you would say? Like,
I think it was just always something that I did. I think I had other things like I've talked with you about this. I wanted to be an artist. I
mm-hmm.
wanted to be a window dresser, like a Nordstrom kind of a window stylist. I don't know. And then I wanted to be a morning talk show host, which I always love when you bring that up too, because I'm like, I
Yes.
wanted to be Kathy Lee Gifford. Uh,
Me too. Which
and so,
like one of my goals in life is to have Kathy Lee Gifford on the show. So if
are you
anyone's
serious?
listening and has any connections, I don't know
Oh,
why. I just really am drawn to her and think that she'd be a great guest.
she has a podcast. I've listened to it a couple
Yes, I know. I've
times.
listened to it as well.
Okay, I don't have any, I don't know her, but
Me neither, but
I'll
if
see
anyone
what I can
does,
do. I wanted to be her when I was younger.
yeah.
Yeah, no, so I think I had other things that I loved as much, not maybe as much as ballet, but ballet was just always something that I did and just a huge part of my childhood. So then when I had to let that go, I think that was sad, but fine, like you fill in with other things. But yeah, I would say that's a childhood dream that I just, I didn't have the right feet.
And your parents were like, we're not going to break them.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I have two other sisters, and so you can't when you've got a lot of kids, which now I know this,
Mm-hmm.
you really can't just pour everything into one kid, and it would have required daily driving to the studio,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't even close. So
Yeah.
it just was the right choice for our family. We
I was just
couldn't.
telling someone that the other day. I was like, I feel like I really do love having a large family. Like, I mean, I
Hmm.
watch Parenthood and I have these dreams of all my kids coming back to our house and bringing their spouses. I
Yeah,
mean, I just love everything about it.
yeah,
But I was like, I don't think I really, and I don't think that you do, I don't think I really understood when we started having kids what a lot of kids meant
yeah. We
by
just had this conversation
just
with
about
me
like
and Ryan, like
finances.
finances, how much food you need to buy,
Yes.
all the clothes. Like my sister has two kids, and I feel like they're always dressed so wonderfully, and I'm like, I can't even like keep up. I don't even know
No, I
what
know.
size they are right now.
Exactly. And then like they're all in activities right now. And we
Yeah,
have the rule, you get one thing at a time. But do you know what that rule does when they're all on different teams? I mean, it's
is it
just a
baseball?
lot.
Do any of them play baseball?
Oh yeah. I have
You're a
one playing
baseball fan, but
baseball.
baseball is
It's
brutal for a
brutal
mother.
because the
It's terrible.
coaches think you only have one child and that you can
Yeah.
practice 4 times a week, you
Yes,
know?
and have 18 games a week. It's
Oh,
it's
yes. And the
terrible.
season lasts forever.
Forever. Well, and in the Northwest, it rains. So most games, either you're in the rain or they get rained out. And so the season just keeps getting prolonged and prolonged
Yes. I
and
can
prolonged.
only
It's
imagine.
terrible. It's terrible. It's just, as much as baseball is great, I am so happy that my kids this year, they're not playing. And I'm so happy about that.
It's so bittersweet for me because baseball is probably my favorite sport to watch,
Yes.
and I really do
Yes.
love the game baseball. Um,
Mhm.
but it's a lot of time for me, a lot of
Yep.
time. Okay,
Okay.
Emily, here's the next
Yeah.
question. What is one thing that you do that is directly tied to your success?
Oh,
And don't even say, I was going to preface.
I
I
know.
prefaced it last time with Jess. Like, women
I'm not
sometimes are like, I'm not
successful.
successful. You are. So,
Hmm.
what is one thing that you do that is directly tied to that success?
Yeah. So I think success as far as like what I do as a business person, um, I feel like I have really stayed true to who I am and being really genuine with who I am. I think in the online marketing, blogging, online business kind of world, there's sort of a way to do things. And Ryan is a business partner and my business partner, and he loves online marketing. So he studies all of the tactics and webinars and email lists and all this stuff. And so he brings all of this information to me, and I feel like that's the way that I should do it because that's the way that everyone else is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't always mesh with just like what I care about or what my message is or who my readers are, who my like my the people who are going to buy paperworks or take a class from me, do they want to be sold that way? Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be sold that way. So it has been a real crazy process, I think, to come to terms with the fact that like, okay, I might be not doing it the right way according to like the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and yet I'm really comfortable with how I'm doing it. And I feel like I've had success, even though I could have had maybe more success, but I just don't feel
Right.
like it's sold out in
Like
a
you can
way.
sleep well at night.
Yeah, I just feel like it's really genuine. Like this is really who I am. And I am not trying to be something that I'm not. And that's really hard to do. But
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. Like I feel that tension sometimes. Just with like say for example the show like it's doing
mhm,
well and it is gaining momentum and we're getting new
yeah,
listeners, and so then you look at like, well, what should I do next? And sometimes
right.
it
What are
feels
other
like, well,
people
I don't
doing?
really feel like that's what I should
Mhm.
do, and that's
No.
hard.
It's really hard because what you want is obviously the most success. You want it to get out to a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
because you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't want it in front of an
Exactly.
audience.
Yeah.
But you also like, is that your, and actually it ties back into that, what's your why? If your only why is I want to grow my audience or I want to make a ton of money, then that's fine. Like go for it. Make a ton
Right.
of money, grow your audience big. But I think that your why is a little bit deeper with your podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
my why is a little bit different with the blog and businesses that I run. I mean, yes, I want to make money because I'm running a business,
Right.
but I also really care about the people involved or what the message
Yeah.
is about it. And so I think that's where you just have to figure out like kind of what that balance looks like
Yeah.
for
And you know
you.
what?
And
I've seen you do that, and I hope it's okay if I share this. But we were trying to work together on something,
yes.
with Maker and Ink. Is that how you
Hmm.
say it? Maker and Ink?
Yeah.
Do you say Maker Plus? How do you say it?
I say maker and ink.
Okay, Maker and Ink. So this is a company that you run, which has beautiful
Yeah.
prints. I have them in my house. They just sponsored the live show. Like, love all your stuff. And so we tried to collaborate and work on something for a happy hour print, and it just
Mhm.
wasn't working because it didn't match your brand. And
Right.
I really was bummed that nothing came out of it. But I also, when I got the email that's like, it's just not going to work, I was like, you know what? I love
Oh.
that. No, 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 no. I want you to
Yeah.
hear that, like, of course, because I wanted to work with you. And not
Yeah.
saying we never will, but I
Right.
remember thinking about what you're just saying was so true because I remember thinking, man, I really love that you could have easily just been like, this would be a fun little project. I don't care. I'll kind of
Sure.
like sacrifice what we do here. But
Yeah.
instead you were like, it doesn't fit with what we do and our
Yeah.
messaging. And I thought,
Yeah.
that is really good. And that's a lesson that I need to always remember. Like,
Oh.
because, but, well, as a new
Yeah.
person, I have ads on all my
Yeah.
shows. People hear that.
Sure.
And I'm learning to not be ashamed of having ads because I'm running a
Hmm.
business here.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me, even your email, that like, just because someone brings something to the table doesn't mean I have to say yes to it.
It doesn't have, yeah.
Yep.
You
And
don't have
and
to say.
since that conversation, I've said no to something
Oh.
that was money. You know what I mean? Because it just
Yeah.
didn't match with what I am. And so I
Well,
think
and
that's
it's so
great
hard because
advice.
you're like, I want, if it's an opportunity and it's going to bring in some sort of value to me, then yes, I'm going to say yes. But then you have to like, what is my real why? Like,
Yeah.
let's keep it under that umbrella of, does it match with my branding or with my message or with my audience? And if it doesn't, then you just have to take that risk and say, okay, I'm going to say no to this because it just doesn't fit with that,
Yeah.
even though it's a lost opportunity, and I can be okay with that.
And I think that this conversation can be held more than just like in business for us women.
Sure.
Like, I feel like
Hmm.
this is a conversation that my girlfriends and I are constantly having of like, how
Hmm.
many yeses am I doing in my day?
Yes.
And is it affecting what's important? Like, what's a value of mine? And so a value of
Yeah.
mine is like, you're probably experiencing this, is that like when my kids get home from school, I get to
Hmm.
work from home and I'm so thankful for that. But a value of mine is to really try and be done with work by like four
Yes.
o'clock, you know?
Oh,
And
it's
so
hard.
what do I have to say no to make that happen?
Hmm.
And some days
Yeah.
I succeed and some days I'm drastically failing and I have so much to do that I work till 5 and
Right.
they watch TV for an hour and a half.
Yeah. But then even still just saying like we're going on, oh, I haven't said this yet. Look, I'm going to make an announcement
I
on
am
your
so excited.
podcast. We're taking several months off and we're going on a road trip around the country. So we are prepping. We leave April 30th. So we are
Which, first of all, can
prepping
I interrupt
like,
you and say that this is
yeah,
like the
yeah.
coolest thing ever?
It's the coolest thing
And I
ever.
cannot wait to watch this go down.
Oh, I know. We've been dreaming of this for several years, and it just takes a long time to get to a point where you're like, okay, we're ready now. We can do
Mm-hmm,
this.
mm-hmm.
We've set things up to where now we have the opportunity to leave for 4 months. So we're planning and we're working so hard to try to get to the point where by April 30th, we have all of our work done. We have everything set up. We've automated things. We have the trip planned and the itinerary. And so that means that the kids are not maybe getting as much of their mom and dad. I mean,
Mm.
that's not really true. They have a
But
really
I
good
know it's
life.
more.
But,
You have more work
you
on
know,
your
like
plate.
we are going to sacrifice a little bit because for 4 months we're going to be taking this amazing trip.
Right.
So it's even things like, I mean, that's a maybe extreme example, but it's even things like that. Like the kids are going to be okay
Mm-hmm.
if they watch their mom working hard until 5 o'clock every once in a while. That's probably a good thing for them to see,
Yeah.
and they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you got to just deal, you
And it
know.
is just like making those little sacrifices when you need to, pulling back, and also like we talk about this a lot on the show. It's just showing yourself grace as well, like you just said.
Yes.
That there is
Yes.
grace for that.
Showing
Oh,
grace.
okay,
Yeah.
Emily, I can't wait to follow your trip. This
Oh, I
show
know.
that we just did, that we just talked about knowing your why, is going to change people's life because we're all going to be
Oh,
talking about like why are we doing this? And you can do that in
serious.
everything. This goes beyond business. This is everything.
Mhm.
Know your why.
I know your why. Watch that video. It's so
I mean,
good.
it will even help me
So,
today when I do another load of laundry. Know my
mhm.
why.
Know your why.
Why do
Get deep.
I do this laundry? It's because I love my
Right.
family. And so that's what it
Yes.
is. Oh,
Yes.
okay. And thanks for talking with me about
Oh,
HelloFresh because
you're
I'm
welcome.
so glad that you use them and love them. And so if you want to try them out, go to HelloFresh.com and use the code Jamie Ivey. That is
Mhm.
JAMIE IVEY. I always wonder if people will know how to spell my name, but you could try it out, Jamie Ivey. So, anyhow, Emily,
Oh,
you're the best. Thanks so much for joining me on the Happy Half Hour. And I love talking to you every time we get to chat.
I love it too. We probably could have talked for 2 hours.
I was just thinking, like, when we were just talking about this, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to stop because this is the half hour.
I know, it's a half hour.
Half hour. Only.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Emily.